Okay, good morning Nailsea Baptist Church and good morning kids and welcome to the Aston living room. Now I've got 3 little Astons in the room helping me, so we will see what happens. Now over the next 10 Sundays, but not next Sunday because that's Easter Day, we're going to be learning the story of the whole Bible. Now the Bible is a very big book. Have any of you tried to read the whole thing? It takes adults usually about a year to read the whole thing. It's very big. Now, I'm sure you've all learned some stories from the Bible in Livewires or at home or at Messy Church or at school with Open the Book, and you can all think of some in your head. Maybe 1 or 2 stories you're thinking of now. Yes?
No.
Good.
Yes.
Now, do you know that all the stories that we learn from the Bible fit together to tell one big story which tell us how awesome God is? So let's get started on that now. So boys, you need to come to the table. I mentioned to your parents that you're going to need some Play-Doh or some pen and pens. So hopefully you've got that ready with you now. Just wait over there a minute, Jonathan. Now you need to, with your Play-Doh or your paper, you need to create or make an animal from your Play-Doh. Get going on that now whilst I'm talking. Now, don't be too precise. You don't need to be too accurate. You need to know what animal it is. And you need to, wait a minute, Johnny. You need to give your animal a name.
Jeff the worm.
So, let's have a look. Show us yours, Johnny. Matthew, is Johnny in the camera?
I've made...
Hang on a minute, Johnny. Is Johnny there? Can he be seen? Up a little bit.
I've made Piggy the butterfly.
Okay.
Bye. And I've made a snake called Snakey. And yeah.
And who's this? Is Rubens?
This is
what
Rubens.
was Rubens called? Diggy. Is it in the camera, Matthew?
Diggy the snowman. Yep. It's Diggy
Okay,
the snowman.
so
And what about mine?
Oh, and yours, Matthew?
You can't forget Jeffrey the worm.
Right. Is Jeffrey the worm in the video, Jonathan?
Yeah.
Okay. Lovely. Good. Well done.
I chopped this guy in half.
Okay. Right, boys. Just. Okay. So, hold on to your creation. Hopefully, you've all thought of a name. Now, just have a look at the thing that you've made, first of all. Now, why did you make it the way you did? How do you feel about what you've made? Why did you decide to make that animal? Now, you are the maker of that animal. You had the power to make it just how you wanted it to be. So, hold on to them. We'll come back to them in a minute.
Oh.
Now, when we open a book, when you start reading a storybook, do you start at the end? Do you start at the middle? No, we normally start at the beginning. So we're going to start at the beginning of the Bible for our story. We're going to go right back to the start, when there was nothing. Now it says in the Bible that there really was nothing. It was just empty. So shut your eyes for a minute and imagine no birds, no people, no lights, no sun, no stars, no houses, no cars, no food. Imagine nothing at all. But do you know what? Even though there was nothing there, God was there. And God made everything. Johnny, can I have your globe?
Globey.
So, God, can we see the globe, Matthew? God made the sea and he made the land. He made the stars. And after he had made all of that, he decided to make man. He took some dirt from the ground and he shaped it into a man. Then he breathed into it and the man began to live. Now, pick up the animals that you have made. Pick up the animals that you've made and breathe onto them.
1, 2.0.
Are they coming alive?
No.
Breathe harder.
That's blowing.
No, not coming alive?
No.
Well, do you know what? That's because only God can make things become alive because he is powerful. Now, after God had made man, he made a special place for the man to live. It was the best sort of place that you could think of. Now have a think about what sort of place you think would be perfect to live in. What would it have there? Now, God made a special garden for man to live in. Now, Johnny's done a little garden here with Lego, which you can have a go at as well. Use some Lego or some Duplo.
And some animals.
And you can you see that? You can make a little garden. Oh, there's a big spider in the garden. I don't like spiders. Okay, now,
God does.
so there were all sorts of trees in the garden and plants, beautiful trees with blossom and fruit, all sorts of fruits that he could eat whenever he wanted. Now, in the centre of the garden, there were 2 trees. I'm just going to move these animals because they keep falling off. In the centre of the garden, there were 2 trees. Can you see them? 1, 2. Now, the first tree was called the tree of life. If you kept eating fruit from that tree, and I'm sure it was delicious fruit, you would live forever. The second tree was called the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. This was the one tree that he wasn't allowed to eat from. God said, if you eat fruit from that tree, you'll want to decide what's right and wrong. But that's my job, God said. Because I made you, I know what's best. If you eat from that tree, you'll forget that I am your king. Now, the man's job in the garden was to look after it, to be the gardener. It was his special place, and he was able to give names to all the animals and look after them too. The only trouble was there was something missing. Well, not something actually, someone was missing. And so God, as my woman, made a woman.
You're a woman.
To be his helper and to be his friend in the garden. They were called Adam and Eve, and they lived very happily in the garden together. And that's the end of our first story. Now, to go along with this story for the next 10 weeks, we're going to be able to make a big banner. So I've sent your mum and dad some pictures that you can cut out and glue onto some paper. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit what the whole banner is going to look like. So I need my little helpers. Johnny, you go at that end. Reuben, can you grab the other ends? And Matthew's just going to, oh, we're a bit twisted here. A bit twisted. Matthew's going to show you the whole banner. Hopefully you won't get too seasick.
How dare you?
Okay, right, let's hold this up. From the beginning to the end.
Adam and Eve.
So you'll understand what all these pictures mean by the time we get to the end. You'll be able to tell the story yourself. So bring us back to here, Matthew. That's great. Thank you. Okay, so for today we just need the first picture. So pull that down. Thank you. So can we see the picture, Matthew? Okay. So this picture shows that God's people, Adam and Eve, so you've got a man and a lady there, are living in God's special place, the garden, under God's rule. That's what the crown represents, God's rule. He is the king and he made everything. Okay, so that is a summary of our first picture. Now, God should be our king too. Now have a think this week about how you can make sure that God is your king. What sort of things can you do to make sure that God is your king and you are doing the right thing? Also this week, we've learnt that God made everything. So as you're out and about in your garden or out for a walk, thank God for the beautiful, incredible things that he has made, including each other, because God made you and God made me, and he made us in his image. Okay, you could maybe have a go this week at making an animal mask, or you could make some yummy creation cookies, and I've sent the recipe for those in an email too. Now, when this finishes, it's going to go straight on to the Creator God song, which is the perfect song for this. Sorry about that. Okay, so don't forget the actions. So we've got Creator God. We're singing to the Creator God, and we celebrate you. Okay, so enjoy that song and enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good couple of weeks, and we'll hopefully do this again in a couple of weeks, or the week after Easter. Okay, so take care everybody, stay safe and enjoy the song. Bye!